Thank you once more for being here. And if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our main conversation right now. The federal government on Monday summoned Libya's charge d'affaires following the ordeal faced by the Super Eagles in Libya.
Very true. According to Foreign Minister Yusuf Toga, the team's flight was redirected to Al Abrak Airport, which lacked aviation fuel, leaving them stranded and unable to proceed to Benghazi for their scheduled march.
The Libyan Football Federation claimed its players equally experienced landing issues in Nigeria, initially arriving in the wrong city. Nigeria has since said such claims were untrue.
The latest is that the president of the Libyan Football Federation has resigned.
Also, the Super Eagles have since returned to Nigeria, boycotting the crucial African Cup of Nations qualifier reverse fixture in Libya after beating the Mediterranean's Knights 1-0 in Uyo, in Akwa Ibom State. And right now, to have a conversation on this and more, we have with us in the studio Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs analyst, and barrister Vansu Feli. Thank you so very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, we're shifting ground a bit from what we used to today. We're doing sports and having a conversation, of course, because it pertains to what's happening to our country and, of course, save our image most importantly. But let's get to the cross of the matter here. I would love to start with you, Cyril Abaku. What do you make of all of this, especially as it refers and concerns a diplomatic relationship between Libya and, of course, Nigeria?
It can be stopped at the level it is if the regulatory bodies like CAF will come into the picture and slam the hammer where it ought to be slammed without necessarily making recourse to sentiment. But the Libyans or the non-Africans, this is their stock in trade. If you know them very well, you know this is what they normally do. There was a time Super Eagles went to, was it Libya or Tunisia? They were training in the darkness. They didn't give them light in the stadium. In fact, there are times when they would tell them to land. Benghazi is 3 hours. They tell them to land in another city, then they start traveling almost a day's journey to the city where they play the match. It has happened to our national teams. It has happened to club sides like AU in Bangkok. Then when they get to the hotel, they'll tell them the hotel that they went is not the one that they should be staying in. Then the hotel may be another 2 or 3 hours away from the stadium. Then when they get there, before they'll be let into their rooms, could be another 2-3 hours, you know, that kind of thing. Then by the time they go to, then they won't go let them train at all. They'll tell them that's a training pitch. You got the broken bottles. During your training, they may even be stoning radios.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That is not allegation.
There are no, which in Egypt, they even won their game in Nigeria 3-0. They lost in Egypt 3-0. They now won on penalties. You know what? Okay, let me explain. A team can't beat you 3-0 and then come and lose 3-0 again.
That's football. It happens.
It does, yeah. But it's something that even those who are football tacticians can explain. Coaches like Roberto Di Matteo and Co lost their job because they had won games by a large margin only to go and lose again. There are things that can be explained. But in our own case, they will deprive you of. So see what happened to the Super Eagles the Super Eagles at Al Abrak. Until now, I do know that there was an airport in Libya called Al Abrak Airport. We don't know about it. The Super Eagles left from Uyo, got to Kano. From Kano, they had to fly back to, they were not to fly to Benghazi. Okay. Meanwhile, the Libyans flew from Uyo to Benghazi, back to their country. Okay. We make sure that, they could take a direct flight from Uyo back to their country. But whereas our own Super Eagles flew from Uyo first to Kano before they flew out to Libya. Now, on arriving at Libya, it was the plane was descending in Benghazi when they were told that they couldn't land there in very hostile language that they needed to be redirected to Al Abrak. In fact, the Super Eagles, noticing, perhaps suspecting because when the Libyans came to Nigeria, they made false claims and took pictures of themselves and put on social media that Nigeria was maltreating them. And what was the story? They were told, they were allowed, the way they flew from Uyo back to Libya, they had to land in Uyo Strait. Okay. The NFF said it was the Libyans who opted by themselves to land in Port Harcourt. Nigeria hire bus for them. They said no, they hire their own buses and chose to drive at. Now something even you and I wouldn't do in Nigeria today. When they said that they must travel in the night, NFF now to provide security for them. Escorts they came to Uyo to play the match. Now, what was the next thing they did? We started hearing stories of, but what really when they say what was the match when that were treated? Were they not given food? Didn't they lodge? Didn't they train? Didn't they play the match? And I have to say that they played well because they held Nigeria. Nigerian fans are very supportive, and Nigeria has a way of always winning our games on home soil. But these people, of course, you have to give to the North Africans. They're very technical with their game. They held Nigeria down till the very last minute of the match before Diversion was able to pick a winner for us. Fine. Then they were, and that was in spite of the delay tactics that brought into the game. But it was fine. Now back to look at it was when the park was descending. They said no, you can't descend here. Go to. If man told them we have enough fuel, they said that's your business. So go back to Al Albrak. He went to Al Albrak to go. Landed. No food, no internet, no accommodation. Okay. The NFF secretary was talking to the secretary of the own FA or the own federation. At the point, the man was no longer reachable. They were at the airport. Like I said, no food, no water. The Nigerian nation in Libya had written to the Libyan Federation to say, can we welcome our players when they come to Libya? The government said no. Then traditionally, if you go to play a match in, let's say, Cote d'Ivoire or Zambia, it is the football federation of that country that comes to welcome the visitors. There was no single member of the Libyan Football Federation at Al Albrak. How is that for reception and for hospitality?
Now, let's assume all of this is true. But there are two sides to every story.
Okay, first time, there's two sides to every story. Now, at this point, we look at it. Is there something that it's going on, like a power tussle between Nigeria and the Libyans that is taking an effect or trying to take its face and its shape through this whole match and through the Nigerian Football Federation and the Libyan Federation?
Well, from what I know about the relationship between Nigeria and Libya, there is no economic wrangling or political wrangling between the two countries. Except until the last match when they came to Nigeria, where according to them, they were not treated right in their own words. Okay. They did some stunts, but perhaps they don't have the population to make it, to blow up the world space with it. So what is happening now looks like, when I read the story, in fact, the moment I saw them at the airport, they were sleeping in an abandoned airport. Even Libyans, some Libyans don't even know that there's airport in that place. Yeah. You understand? When I saw them, I said, this is more like vendetta. It's like, do me, I do you kind of thing. Even though I don't think there's anything wrong we have done. But this is not good for the optics at all. But one thing you also know about the North Africans is that they don't care about optics. They don't care about brand. What they care about is their mindsets. What they want to do is what they will do. Okay, this man that resigned now, the sports that resigned now, was he not aware that our players were in that airport for 12 hours, uncared for? The Libyan government itself, were they not aware that our players were in the country? Can Nigeria do that to Libya? We can't. But we receive all this insult, we receive all these kind of things. I don't know why. Okay? And I like the fact that they pulled out from the thing, and they pulled out from, because the Libyans should explain to CAF whether they really want to be in this game or not.
But we've lost points already by that boycotting, isn't it?
It doesn't, see, for me, for the football administration and all that, I don't know how they go about it. But this is no fault of ours. You cannot expect the players to still go on the pitch after they had spent the whole day not sleeping, not training, not eating, not doing anything. There's no way they will play. So did they do that to get back at us so that they will win the match? Or what exactly are they trying to explain? Okay, because the whole thing looks to me like not just more of glossy finish. I mean, mind my language. But if you have a country that works, I'm tempted to say that Libya have no proper structural government.
No, very true.
Yes, because if you have a country that works, the moment the players get, I mean, you say they cannot land. The reasons given were not really good enough. You understand? They already descend. They communicated to you that they don't have enough for you. You don't care. Thank God that they even came back alive. You understand? It's not compulsory that Nigeria must be in that tournament. There was, I mean, not too long ago we didn't qualify, right? So why should you take people's life out there to go risk it on an abandoned airport? The least you could do, if you cannot take them for a 3 hours journey that same day, was to provide accommodation for them. The least you could do. They didn't do that. And then the players were stranded, they're being mocked and all that. That's not good enough.
Okay, I don't think it's... let's say the Libyans actually learned from some of our leaders how they treat their citizens, and they don't see it as anything wrong to treat us same way.
Well, it's not far away now. I mean, our immigrants, the Nigerian immigrants there, the Libyans maltreat them, stab them, just they treat them, because your country have not placed even premium on value. Even if the Libyans came out to welcome our players, put them in better condition, do all for them, Nigerian government can say abandon them. So I don't want us to look at this on one-sided, because it looks like it's the Libyan now that abandon our government used to abandon our players. The female players that went to play not too long ago, but they not abandon them. Or is it the Paralympians or what they call them? We've seen situations like that where Mikel Obi have to bring money to ferry people and things like that. So in as much as I'm tired of our government, I'm also saying that the Libyans should apologize to Nigeria. One, they must pay for this damage. And this must not be used against Nigerians, because for fair play, maybe we could approach is it the football court they call it? Court of arbitration for sports. For damages, for injury, against our players, because it's an injury against Nigeria, because those guys were representing Nigeria. You understand? And our diplomatic ties with them is quite, it's not hostile. We're not hostile to them. They are the ones hostile to our immigrants. We're not hostile to them. Maybe because they don't really travel out, come to other places. But I think this is quite very wrong for a country in Africa. I mean, the Europeans and the Americans will be surprised to see that, because they see Africa as one state.
Yeah.
So as a country, so for an African country to be dealing with another African country in this way, an African country that borders Nigeria in a way. I mean, from Kano to Agadez to Mali this side, Libya this side. So I mean, this is very, very wrong.
All right. So as much as we might perceive all of the issue happening as bad, let's not forget that the North Africans have the best leagues in Africa.
Doesn't matter what they have. We're talking about their treating people.
So
yes, exactly.
There's a way they do it.
Yes.
It's football mafia, actually.
Yeah.
And this is about football politics. Well, let's say in a way they are ahead of us at it. Yes. If you look at their clubs are really popular. Zamalek, Raja Casablanca, and so on. There's some they've done which we haven't. Like I said, in terms of the game, match prosecution, for example, you find that their teams are highly technical, as well as the fact that when you're playing at a level, why they dominate Africa is because Egypt, for example, is the longest has won more African trophies than anyone. I think they have about 6 or 7 Dakiti, followed by Cameroon. Now it's like that because their players hardly go to Europe until recently.
They are all home based.
Yeah, so the same team playing week in, week out in the league.
Yeah, because of
or in the club.
Yeah, of obviously because of the standard infrastructure that the government has set up.
There's a lot of black hand in it again.
When you say black hand, what do you
mean? What they did to Nigeria.
Okay.
They did to our clubs a lot. You know, Enyimba tried to break into that rank at the time. They won the CAF Champions League back to back. Then what happens thereafter? There was a massive gang up. There's a lot that goes on that we're not aware of. And Nigeria has not asserted itself as a domestic power in Africa. Our big players play overseas. Whenever you're playing against the North Africans, even in AFCON, you bring something extra to it. You know, it was in Tunisia, in North Africa, that Nigeria won its second AFCON title. You need to go and check the history and see what happened. We came third in 1992 in Cote d'Ivoire. I think yes, in Cote d'Ivoire. No, in Senegal 92. Then won Tunisia 94. It is, you know, it's like going to the Lions Den and coming out with his whelps. It's never an easy thing. They do everything they can. Well, I tell you, Enyimba was going to play. Which club? They divided stadium to the match. They shot it against our players, against Enyimba. They shot the gate. Enyimba couldn't enter until it was about some minutes to the tournament game. And as we were booing them, calling, even radio sets at them, stones, anything they could hold, they were howling at them, threatening them. They do these things. These are where, you see, my concern is neither Nigeria nor even Libya. Why has CAF allow, even when the Libyans came and said that they were maltreated in Nigeria, CAF should have opened an investigation into it.
Well, there's currently an investigation. Yes, so there's currently an investigation. Okay, a disciplinary committee has been set up to investigate the issue.
You know why?
Yeah, so which is still ongoing.
Some people have been claiming that the CAF president, I think, is it the South African guy, Moshepe, was begging Nigeria to go. But you can't go on with it again. If you've already, the players are sick.
Why would they go on with the game?
They were sick after spending 16 hours at the airport, right? They flew from Calabar, from Uyo to Kano. Then flew from Kano to Libya. And then stayed at the airport for 12, 13, 14 hours. Then they will travel by road for 3 plus hours. And Libya is not safe. 3 plus hours to Benghazi.
Libya is not safe.
When will they rest? When will they recover? When will they train? Then play the match. Clearly, the winner is lost. So what CAF must do is to thoroughly investigate. And let me say this: it is not written anywhere that because you boycotted the match, walkover is not automatic. Walkover is when, in my opinion, is when you are not able to take part in the match for your own negligence or for your own inability to come to show up. But in a case where it is clear that somebody has used like what I call black hand and our players have to leave. CAF should award the maximum 3 points and 3 goals.
So what if Libyans had boycotted the match in Uyo because of the way they, of course, have said they were treated? So
CAF will equally investigate to be sure whether they are just crying foul, or whether the claims they are making were tossed and so. So it is the reason you have this panel. They should investigate and check. Do you know? Okay, hold on. The Philip Shaibu was on that contingent. Some members of parliament, lawmakers, and maybe senators were on that contingent. Sports stakeholders were all in Libya. When they are at the airport, they were using phone to scan their luggage. There were no standard scanners at the airport. It's a disused airport. They were using mobile phone to check. When they said, okay, where is the bus that will take us? The secretary of the Libyan forgot. They said, in 10 minutes, until 10 minutes went to 3 hours, and his phone was no longer reachable. What do you call it?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Laba.
There's more to be said.
Now, this is a problem, and if not properly handled, it will definitely turn to a pattern. Unfortunately, it's turning into a pattern already. So how well can CAF come in and the Libya and Nigerians can cooperate so that they can actually sort out the internal problem so that this does not come up again? Because futuristically, we're looking at still playing and having a continuous friendly match or inter-country match with them.
In my estimation, I think CAF is failing in its responsibilities. It's failing, just like other international organizations within the African space. ECOWAS failing terribly. Countries have been taken up by military regime and all that. You're not doing anything about it. No thanks to the chairman of ECOWAS. The CAF too, they are exhibiting the same lukewarmness, you know, the inability to be firm to cause and purpose. Okay, they have a law that instituted a charter. Nigeria is a member country, Libya is a member state. Nigeria is a member state, Libya is a member state. In that charter, there are disciplinary measures for non-compliance and wrongdoings. Okay, so why have CAF they have not activated? Okay, they say they're setting up a committee and all that, but by now I expect to see a statement from CAF. Looking into the matter and taking it very serious. But I don't think anything serious is going on. And from all indication, the Libyan just, did this on purpose. It was on purpose because they cannot say they were not aware that our players were coming. They can't say that. They cannot say they are not aware of the match. Okay? So all this one that is resigning and all that is neither here nor there. The damage has been done. And there's no way a CAF president will insist that they play the match. They play the match on what ground? On the basis of what? Having gone through all that.
That's ordeal.
You understand?
It was a hostage situation.
So it's not about the match. It's about the performance and the match, the state of mind of the players and what they are supposed to do. It's not indoor game. Football is not indoor game that maybe it's Scrabble or something where you sit down and relax. It requires energy. It requires tact. It requires technicalities. A lot of things. It requires a frame of mind that should be in line with the run of play. But once all that is lost, there's nothing left.
All right. So while we cast blames on CAF, let's look domestic now. The NFF. Some sports pundits have analyzed that currently the NFF chairman is Ibrahim Musa, and lots of people have said if it was during the days of Amaju Pinnick, that it would have been a different case, that throughout his reign, Nigerians never experienced such issue. So let's look at characters of those whom we elect or whom we appoint in positions of authority. Do you think this is singularly as a result of the kind of person heading NFF that is failing to do what he should do, especially selling the image of Nigeria better?
Well, I mean, as an FA chairman, your duties are basic. They are what they are. Let me start by saying that in Libya, the NFF, when the secretary of the Libyan football kept on saying the boss coming in 10 minutes, the Nigerian FF now actually hired its own buses at the airport. Right at the airport, hired its own buses. It was then the security people said they couldn't go out. It was then they had orders from above to detain them at the airport for 10 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They say if it was during the days of Ahmadu Pinnick, he would have been out there, Twitter, Instagram, shouting and all of that.
At the airport, it's not a personality thing.
It's false imprisonment.
It's false imprisonment. They had that orders had been given for them to stay at the airport for 10 hours. The least CAF could do is to investigate. And look, this should even lead to a ban that, what's it called? Libya should even be maybe, told that they'll play all their next remaining away games outside of their country. Yes, they can do that. Or ban them for the next 3-4 matches.
No, the truth of the matter is that they actually have no skin in the game currently because they are at the bottom of that particular group. So either they win or not. Either they win or not, it doesn't really matter.
There's one in the east. In fact, the following day was the president of Nigeria in Eastern Libya that now organized croissant and some drinks for the team the following morning. But the point is this, right? There are two governments. There's the UN backed government I think in Tripoli. And the other one,
parallel government.
Yes, because of but you see, even in spite of that, Libya is not importing petrol. I hope you know, but that's another discussion. Libya and Algeria are self-sufficient there. They have crude oil and they're processing all the refineries and having petrol for domestic use. But that's another matter for another day. The leadership of our own efforts, right? They hired bosses. It was then they were told that what came out. That the people had been told to keep them at the airport for 10 hours. Now, what must happen? Courts like that need soft power. And that's what Libya is looking for. All my life, I never knew Libya to be a strong footballing nation. They've never been. But now you see that they want to be known. They want to be visible. What does that tell you? It tells you that they need football to recreate their image and their brand in the Committee of Nations. I recall in 2000 when the Libyan FA wrote to Nigeria begging to play friendly match with us, and they will pay $10,000 each for us to compulsorily fill Okocha, Tinkan Wanko, Finida and Olise. That they will pay $10,000 back then, almost 30 years ago, that they were willing to pay $10,000 each, no, $7,000 each for those players to make to feature in the game. They needed us to, but now you see that's what Barrister was talking about. When you don't keep on proposing a higher value and being opposite, what happens? The children of yesterday will come and try to measure themselves to see whether you are up to the task. I think that again, if our politics, our economics, and our socials were in good shape, no matter what it is, no small country will take it for granted. But again, because we haven't proposed a better value in other areas of our influence as a country, they can afford to take us. We know that North Africa,
your citizens go to Europe, pass Libya,
and they rape them for fun, rape them routinely. Why? What's so special about their football that they will not throw? And then again, I think they're even happy to say, look at them, Ballon d'Or nominee, let him suffer. The other one, you know that.
Thank you, sir. At this point, Barrister Evans, let's take this one. Can we get your parting shot?
Yeah, my parting shot is that CAF must not sweep this under the carpet, because their attitude now, I'm beginning to develop homophobia. Be something I don't like the way they are going about this thing. Yes, they should deal with that country in the measure that is captured in the charter that established that organization. And for Nigerians, for the CAF man that you talked about, I don't think it's any fault of his. I mean, they got the
NFF.
Yes, yeah, the NFF. If they were unable to provide proper administration to get them there, then we'll say, okay, you are failing your responsibility. But they got there, and then it was when they got there that problem started, not from this our end. So by and large, I think Africa should do more, because the Libyans now, they're thinking, okay, we have maltreated them, but don't know that the brand Africa is being diminished.
Exactly.
Both countries are the losers, okay? So we should have win-win situations where African countries should ensure that, they will cooperate well, so that we can have the visibility that is required. These matches have been watched all over the world. You understand? This one that they just scattered, so some people have bets already for it. We scatter everything for them. No, I'm just telling you, all over the world. Yes. So at the end of the day, you are not doing yourself any good. You are messing up things. And this is wrong.
Yeah, so Labago, please, your end parting shot, especially as it connects FIFA and the CAF and all of the issues happening. How do you think this can be better addressed? And what is the outlook like in the face of FIFA right now?
Okay, so first, yesterday when I saw this story making global headline, as in you could sky it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It's bad for the game in Africa. And CAF is in the spotlight. How they deal with this matter will reset diplomatic football relations between North Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. There's a strong rivalry, which we can't go into now. But like I told you, the Maltese people routinely, they take us for granted and abuse us and do everything against us. I told you that game, we had won 3-0 in Nigeria. To go and now lose 3-0 away, it wasn't funny. And they will tell the game is for 4 o'clock, they will delay and delay. But the point is this, CAF has a golden opportunity to reset this narrative. How they clamp down on the matter and serve justice should help to set a precedent going forward and help to regain the image both of CAF and of the game on the continent from now going forward. Then FIFA may not have so much to do. The tournament is an AFCON tournament. There's a way they do these things. It's an AFCON tournament. If you give somebody red card, for example, in the Nigerian league, it's not binding if he goes to play outside. But if he's playing in Nigeria, that's red card, whatever. So there's where these things play out. It's not for FIFA, it's CAF. Okay. So Nigeria, AFCON, CAF should sit up and do the needful. Make sure that if the Libyans have found one thing, they are dealt with and those points should come to Nigeria. That way, I think they will learn.
All right, very, very true. You know, and while we say all of this, I think it's very important we let everyone know that, especially in Nigeria, that we shouldn't at any point allow this smear us. Most importantly, for the fact that Libya right now is ranked 121 in FIFA ranking as of 2024. Nigeria is 28. You could imagine the depletion there. So large. Of course, they are not our equal in every matter here. So we would love to say thank you to Cyril Abaku.
Thank you, Cyril.
Thank you so very much, Barrister Vanso Feli.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
My
very
pleasure.
much. I really enjoyed our sports discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so people, we'd love to say thank you to you for being part of our show. We truly appreciate you, but please do well to visit us. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Ikubike.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.